July 19th, 1977, the world teacher, the Christ Maitreya, head of the spiritual hierarchy, emerged from his ancient retreat and is now in the modern world. With his disciples, the masters of the wisdom, he will inaugurate the new age of synthesis and brotherhood.
Good morning and welcome to our World Teacher program on Wellington's Access Radio 106.1 FM, presented by Teresa and David on behalf of Share International New Zealand.
At his lecture in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, on the 21st of September 2005, Benjamin Creme made these comments, quote, "We are lurching from one catastrophe to another because we do not know how to live. We do not know how to live in peace. We do not know why we are here. We do not know what is the meaning and purpose of life on earth. We don't even know who we are." End of quote.
To throw some light on this, we'll read an article from the July-August 2008 issue of Share International magazine entitled Discovering Our Own Reality. It's an interview with Swami Premananda by the Polish magazine Unknown World at the end of 2007. Note that Swami Premananda passed over on the 21st of February 2011.
Swami Premananda is a spiritual avatar born in 1951 in Sri Lanka. His ashram near Trichy in southern India includes a school and an orphanage. In November 1994, Swami Premananda was arrested on a series of false charges brought to discredit him.
His trial was a sham. Young women were pressurized and even physically abused into giving false testimony against him. DNA samples were falsified, and witnesses and testimony supporting his innocence were ignored by the court. He was found guilty and put in prison.
His service, however, continues undisturbed. He answers letters from the thousands of people who write to him for help and advice, and continues to guide the ashram from his prison cell. He also supports his fellow prisoners, many of whom turn to him for advice and help. Despite the deprivations of prison life, he always radiates love and contentment, and is still renowned for his broad smile.
The first question put to Swami Premananda asks, what is the purpose of being born as a human being? Why were we born on this earth? To which he answers,
the purpose of human birth is to discover our own reality. Our real self is not the body. It is not our minds, not our intellects. You may call this reality soul, light, higher self, or by any other name you like. Our bodies and our personalities will pass away, but we still survive in a subtle manner. This subtle being takes many lives. It is like changing clothes, discarding one life for another.
Why do such lives come into being? We created a need for this when we took our first birth. If we had realized our real self when in a spiritual form and experienced human life with detachment, we would not have suffered any difficulties. However, when we lost touch with our spiritual state of being, we were led to believe that our life with our body, mind and intellect was the real self. We committed acts which had corresponding effects that made their impressions on the mind.
Such mental residue prompts our real self to take life after life to atone for any wrong that may have been committed. So the purpose of life is firstly to pay off the debts that you created in the present and past lives. Secondly, it is to live an untainted life so that you do not have to take any more lives.
The next question is, most religious leaders claim that only within their religion can one achieve salvation or liberty. What is your view on this matter?
Salvation or liberty is not a place you visit from time to time. It is a change in perception. Suppose you are a prince, and, by accident, you found yourself being brought up in a group of very poor people. If I tell you that you are a prince, and you are not a poor man, you will not accept it. As long as you don't accept your real self, you will continue to be a poor young man amongst poverty-stricken people. Only when you realize your true origin will you become free of the bondage of your environment. That freedom brings with it your salvation.
Let us say you are travelling and your destination is Mount Kailash, in the Himalayas to the north. But you are taking a route towards the south of India. The more you travel south, the further you are from Mount Kailash. So I tell you not to travel south. Travel north, then you will reach your destination. The change of route gives you a solution to your problem. All religions are like that. They show you the path to salvation or liberty. The journey must be taken by you. You are the creator of your own future.
Any religion that says that it alone holds the key to salvation might have misunderstood some statement made by a saint or a sage who started or promoted that religion. Suppose Lord Jesus Christ said, "I am the path." It means that if you understand your I, that I will lead you to salvation. It is not personal to the human being called Jesus, but personal to every human being. Claims to exclusivity are made by the devotees who have misunderstood the statements of how the spiritual teachers perceive spirituality.
Is it necessary to become a Hindu if one wants to be your disciple and benefit from your spiritual guidance and advice?
Swami Premananda says, certainly not. Hindus and Hinduism are the names given by the Persians and Westerners to the people who lived to the south of River Indus and to their religious beliefs. Hinduism has no founder, no strict dogma nor texts, nor basic beliefs. It has no single religious organization as such. A Hindu is free to believe in whatever path he wishes that will take him or her to the truth.
If the centre of a circle is truth, then every human being, whatever belief he may cling on to, is placed on the circumference. According to the radius, the distance from the centre to the circumference is measured. All human beings of whatever country, whatever nature and belief are evolving towards the centre. This process of evolution takes many lives. The radius may be short in one life but long in another. However, ultimately, the radius will shorten and the circumference and the radius will both become one with the centre.
Therefore it is not necessary to convert to Hinduism. Understanding is sufficient. The eternal code of life, the Sanatana Dharma, has been witnessed to the teachings of thousands of saints and sages for thousands of years. If you understand what was said by one saint or sage and would like to fashion your lifestyle according to his or her teachings, you are most welcome. You don't have to become a Hindu to do so.
What is Hinduism? Western people think that there are many gods in this religion and not one god. Hindus claim that it is a monotheistic religion and that God is one. Can you explain this?
Let me explain further. Hinduism has existed for thousands of years. The human race has also been on this earth for thousands of years. For example, there was a continent called Lemuria, which existed from the present Western Australia to South Africa, engulfing the present Indian Ocean. That entire human civilization is now under the sea. If you travel to the central part of India, you would see it consists of bundles of rocks which must have been underwater at some prehistoric time.
The history we are used to extends back, at most, about 5,000 years. There have been many civilizations prior to our so-called Stone Age. Hindu Puranas, ancient histories, refer to many such ages and civilizations. Hinduism also refers to many sages and saints. There is a golden thread that connects the sayings and writings dealing with the philosophies of such saints and sages.
This is the basic truth, that there is an omnipresent, omniscient and omnipotent God. The ancient scriptures of India, the Vedas, call it Parabrahman. It exists at all times. It is in all things, animate and inanimate. Then why do you have so many gods and goddesses, you may ask? God is one, but its functions can be many and varied.
When you view the single divinity that I mentioned earlier from a functional standpoint, that functional entity is given a name and a form and attributes. For example, the Inspector General of Police has several deputies, superintendents, inspectors and ordinary policemen under him, and they all perform various functions. Likewise, when the single God's functions are performed, the Hindus give each functional entity a name, a form and attribute.
Yet it is a basic tenet of Hinduism that all the fundamental entities are representatives of that one God. The Vedas refer to it as Parabrahman. The Saivites, who worship Lord Shiva, call it Shivam. The Vaishnavites call it Vishnu. The goddess worshippers call it Adi Parashakti, and so on. God is one, but saints and sages have many names for the divine. The various functions that the divine performs also have as many names.
In answer to the question of whether vegetarianism is helpful in spiritual development, he replies,
Our environment conditions our minds and bodies. A peaceful environment soothes your mind and relaxes your body. So too, various types of food have a corresponding effect on your body and mind.
When you pick a bean from a creeper, the creeper allows such an act to be performed. In fact, it brings forth more and more beans for you and others to pick. You don't hurt the plant. But when you take a life, whether it be an animal, bird or reptile, you do hurt these beings. This pain taints the environment. When you eat such non-vegetarian food, you imbibe the qualities of the animals. You consume them, and sometimes, when you see animals being slaughtered for consumption, your inner being begins to feel guilty and thereby suffers. All these are negative facts when you are interested in spiritual development.
One of the important steps in spiritual development is the withdrawal of your inner being from identifying itself with your body, mind and intellect. If you always eat just what you like, you will find it hard to stop this continual identification, and you will find it hard to let go.
Swami, we are probably all afraid of death, but what really happens to our soul after death? Where are we going?
Once the body used by the soul or higher self dies or is destroyed, the soul returns to its original dimension. However, it cannot stay there forever. According to its desires and aspirations, it needs to take another birth until it has no desire nor inclination to be born again. Some true saints and sages, out of their love for humanity, may take a life of suffering to help others. They do so not because of karma, but out of the generosity of their hearts.
And what will happen when we achieve salvation or liberty?
Salvation or liberty is not a state towards which we travel. It is a change of perception, which gives you recognition of the truth. What happens when one is in a deep sleep without dreams? You have no thought for recognition of yourself, but you are in heavenly relaxation. The need to know what will happen does not concern you in deep sleep. The key to spiritual advancement is for you to ask yourself the question, who seeks to know? You ask, what will happen when I achieve salvation? You must earnestly try to find out who is the being who is questioning.
Do you feel hatred towards people who fabricated false allegations against you and led to your imprisonment?
Every act of ours has a corresponding reaction in us. Even if I don't know the consequences, if I put my hand in the fire, my fingers will burn. Therefore, if someone has fabricated false charges against you, whether on purpose or not, their acts themselves will bring about consequences in their lives, or even the lives of their children. Why should I feel hatred? I feel sorry for them because they will have to pay for every act of theirs.
You are listening to the World Teacher Program on Wellington's Access Radio 106.1 FM. Next question. What is your attitude towards Christianity and other religions and spiritual paths?
Swami Premananda replies, Hinduism believes truth is one, but paths are many. On a spiritual journey we are all pilgrims, whatever name a group may prefer to have. I have no need to convert you to my way of religious worship, but, if you ask me, I shall explain my religion to you, and I will listen to you if you explain your religion. However, I would certainly not want to join your religion because of any material or spiritual benefit you may offer. I prefer Christians to be better Christians, Muslims to be better Muslims, and Hindus to be better Hindus, rather than Hindus becoming Christians or Muslims.
Can we achieve liberty living a family life with a wife or husband and children?
Most certainly yes, but the odds are against you. Attachment and the need to be responsible towards your loved ones will drag you towards a mundane life. If you can live a family life and yet be detached in your attitudes towards your family, spiritual development will happen.
Many people talk about enormous natural disasters which are to happen within the next few years. Should we be afraid? Is it really going to happen?
We have hurt nature in a very big way. We have hurt nature to obtain personal benefits for ourselves. Though Mother Earth is a very patient and tolerant planet, she too has her limitations. Recent disasters are examples of nature's reaction. Many are to follow. Your being afraid cannot change it. What is to take place? If you open the gate, water is sure to flow until the area is full of water. Mother Earth is now full of anger. You have destroyed her children. Many species are now extinct thanks to the selfishness of man. Instead of being afraid, try to retrace your steps. Put right the wrongs you have done. Atone for the wrongs you have committed. Purify the environment. Make Mother Earth feel happy. Maybe you might decrease her anger. Helping the less fortunate is another way of pacifying Mother Earth.
Swami Premananda goes on to say, my message for everyone is the same. This world has become very small now. Any act in any part of this world has its effect in other parts as well. So the human community is becoming more and more interdependent and interconnected. Nationalities, colour, language, caste, sex and creed, which kept human beings in tight compartments, are slowly losing their hold on people. However, the new way of life, which is catching on fast all over the world, seems to be selfishly oriented.
On the one hand, man is breaking his shackles, and on the other hand, he is building walls around himself. Helping others in whatever way you can, financially, educationally, professionally, physically, and so on, will instill the idea that we are all children of Mother Earth. Our feelings of brotherhood towards the less fortunate might make Mother Earth happy. So I ask all to be of service to humanity as a whole. Service to one's brothers and sisters would make Mother happy.
That concludes the interview. Here are more wise comments taken from his official website, sripremananda.org.
It is not important to believe in God or to believe in what I or anybody else tells you, but believe yourself. Believe your own heart. Be courageous and fearless. Otherwise you cannot do anything and cannot reach anywhere, neither in the world nor on the spiritual path.
The way to become selfless is to think of others always and to take care of others. If we can see the divine love that exists in everything, everywhere, we can love all beings in the world, and only then can we truly do something good in this world. The heart will become a spring of love, and every being will be seen as the divine.
The ideas expressed in all religions are, to a great extent, in harmony. No matter to what religion we belong, we must accept the fact that there is only one supreme reality in all religions. Our aim is to reach this reality and not to worry about how many religions and paths there may be. If we accept that we all emanate from one great source of energy, then only will we realize the essential unity of humankind.
There is much work to be done in this world. Let us be active. Let us not talk too much, and let us do something. True service is done selflessly, with love, humbleness and patience, and without pride. In order to really give true service, we have to work on ourselves to acquire such virtues and learn to give without expecting anything in return.
Divinity is within you. Likewise, remember that the same spark of the divine is there within all other living beings. By doing service to them, you are serving God. We should never miss a chance to serve others whenever we can.
Our final quote from the Sri Premananda website states, "Today's world has become caught up in illusion and desire. Human beings must start to purify themselves and look after their fellow men and other creatures according to the eternal laws of wisdom. If they would share their wealth with the poor wisely and replace selfishness with compassion, there would be little suffering in this world. Each one of us is responsible for the future of the planet and the growth of the message of truth."
We'll finish today's program with an article by the Master through Benjamin Creme, also sourced from the July-August 2008 issue of Share International magazine. It's titled "The Oneness of Humanity," and begins.
The time is soon coming when men will see for themselves that the direction on which they are now embarked is false, fruitless for their future happiness, and doomed to failure. Seeing this, they will pose the questions: why this emptiness? Why do we fail to achieve the peace we seek? Where have we gone wrong? Turning then to Maitreya, they will evaluate his words, testing them for relevance to their plight.
They will find that central to Maitreya's thought is the concept of oneness. Men must, he will assure them, see themselves as one, each part of a united whole, the human family, and that all they do must reflect that oneness. The present failure to appreciate this reality, he will contend, is responsible for all our difficulties and troubles, our disharmony and fears, our conflicts and wars.
See your brother as yourself, says Maitreya. Create an international storehouse from which all can take. Only thus by sharing can the world be renewed, is his teaching. Only by sharing, he will affirm, will men find the happiness they seek. Sharing alone will bring justice and peace.
Thus will Maitreya guide the thoughts of men towards the truth that he brings and is. Thus will Maitreya show men their errors and the solution to their dilemma. And thus will men take stock of their situation and, in growing numbers, realize the truth of his advice. More and more men will see that Maitreya's guidance is the only way to achieve the happiness and peace all inwardly crave. Held back by fear until then, they will find in his simple teaching the answer to all their fears and woes.
Naturally, not all will find in Maitreya the guide they seek. Many indeed will find in his teaching all that they fear and hate. Gradually, however, the ardour of those who can respond and resonate to his simple words of truth will bring millions to his cause of justice and peace. His teaching, though simple, will penetrate the hearts of all those in whom love has not yet been extinguished.
Thus will Maitreya work throughout the world, drawing to his side all who long for a new start, a simpler, happier world wherein to raise their families in peace and harmony.
The day of decoration will be the signal for that new start for planet Earth. On that day, without precedent, men will experience the oneness of which Maitreya speaks. They will sense that all humanity is undergoing the same experience.
They will feel a humble pride in being one of a huge family of brothers and sisters whose hearts are beating together in a love altogether new. This sense of belonging together will embrace them and bring tears of long-forgotten joy to each and every one.
And that's our program for today. If you have any questions or would like to know more about the world teacher Maitreya, please visit the website share-international.org.
To inquire about Share International magazine subscriptions, books by Benjamin Creme, or our monthly free of charge newsletter, the number is 04234 1133, or write to P.O. Box 9576 Wellington.
Thank you for listening to us on Wellington's Access Radio 106.1 FM. And please tune in to our next World Teacher program on Saturday, the 2nd of August at the usual time of 10 a.m.
You can listen again to this program and previous ones by visiting the website at share-international-nz.info and click on the radio tab.